Hi, my name is Claire Blakey. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and the owner of Thrive Therapy Santa Barbara. I'm so happy that you are watching this video and just getting a sense of who I am and maybe how I operate. I think there's so many variables to finding a therapist, and I think when you're watching a video or you can kind of hear that person's voice or understand the cadence of, maybe the way the connection might feel, it really goes a long way in making you feel comfortable and connected, and maybe even just curious if working together is the right fit. If we do work together, I have an office in Ventura, California, and also in Santa Barbara, California. So if you're in either of those coastal towns, yeah, you can walk on up the stairs and come into my office, sit on the couch, have a hot coffee or an iced drink like LaCroix or water, that kind of thing. Or a lot of people actually like virtual therapy. So kind of similar to Zoom, but it's for therapists. That's also an option. And for my clients that maybe are postpartum and navigating just the throes and the challenges. Oh, there's my pup. Hi, Josie. Of postpartum and leaving the house, like sometimes that is the opposite of what you want to do. So I can always do a phone session as well. Lots of different options. I would describe my um, kind of style per se, or just my focus points as pregnancy, postpartum mental health. So if you have experienced maybe a challenging birth or navigating anxiety, depression, maybe flavors of postpartum OCD, or just challenges of adjusting to a new normal and maybe a shock of, wow, that was not the birth experience I thought I'd have. Maybe you're in real time, like not feeling safe in your body or not trusting your experience, or even just downright not enjoying parenthood and being like, this was a huge mistake. I would love to hold space and talk through, and I can support in diagnosing and treating and talking through what are options if you could extend leave or, obviously I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't prescribe the medication, but I can connect you with an OB or a provider that could. And then I also work a lot with grief and loss. So if you're processing the loss of a loved one or even a season of life, a time that has been grief-filled or challenging as you transition into something different. It could be the end of a relationship. It could be you're in college and you are just like in the throes of identity and grief and friendships and heartbreak in relationships. There's lots of different types of grief, but I'm well versed in that. Before I had kids of my own, I actually focused a lot on like eating disorders, body image, what I called the in-between. So maybe you've not been diagnosed with an eating disorder, but you have what I call like a complicated relationship with your body or food. And oftentimes that might be under the umbrella of maybe an athlete. I've ran two full marathons, 10 half marathons, played college my first year of, or sorry, played soccer my first year of college. So I have just like a unique lens for that world. And yeah, there's just a lot of complications in body image and eating disorders. So that is something that I was more niched in before I had kids, but then once I had kids, I did advanced training in the perinatal space, and I kind of just that's my heartbeat and like a lot of what my practice is right now. Something else that I also work with is just like the typical anxiety, depression, trauma, the usual things. And if you want, I am trained in something called EMDR. It's something that is becoming more commonly talked about. There's a lot of research behind it and the benefit and the impact of EMDR with just in collaboration with talk therapy in order to kind of shift and move through some challenging lived experiences. So that's something that I can definitely talk about. Um, I tell people this all the time. If you've made it through this far on the video, um, please reach out. Even if I don't work with you directly, I know firsthand what it's like to be postpartum or what it's like to be going through grief and loss or really challenging life transitions or heightened levels of anxiety and panic attack or trauma that you just are sideswiped by, and every facet of your life is like in flames. I know how hard it is to even make the call, to even text or send an email. And if it's not me that works with you, I do take a few different insurances, but I am out of network for quite a few. So if that is a non-negotiable for you, just let me know and I can absolutely connect you with other providers. I am no longer on the board, but I was historically really connected on the board for therapists in Santa Barbara. I served for about 10 years and was the president, past president, that whole thing. So there's a really good community up there, and I'm happy to put the word out that you have Cigna or you have whatever insurance and see who else has space and just kind of give you a couple of like top three names that just have immediate availability. Um, and or always happy to just be in your corner and provide you other resources that might be supportive too. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and really, really grateful that you're here. Again, Thrive is all about growing through the hard things you go through, and um, yeah, you don't have to go through it alone. So I'm here, I'm excited, and look forward to meeting you.